Welcome back, everybody. Automotive Inc. Today we're working on the 2014 Ford Fiesta. Now this will work for pretty much every date range from probably 2013 to 18 on this. It's going to be very similar even if you have a previous model Fiesta. I highly doubt that they changed it, but you can always check your owner's manual, jump on the Google or whatever, and figure out for sure which ones you need to put in there. I will link below the ones I use, which are always Sea-Light. I'm not endorsed by them, but I've had such great luck with them. I've tried all the other brands and they've had flicker and everything, but we're going to change out, seeing how that this thing has bad bulbs. We're going to just go ahead and, I just have a low beam out basically, but I'm going to change them all out. Now if you're on the road and you need to stop by an auto parts store and grab one, it's an H1LL is going to be your low beam, and then the high beam is an H11. And of course the turn signal is here is a P27, but you can use a 3157 amber for that. So if you need to just snag one, you can, but this is a pretty easy fix. But I want to swap it out to LED because, one, better lighting, and two, they're not going to be super aggressive on the, you're not going to not pass your inspection station if you have to. So before we get started, please smash the subscribe button. Helps a small channel out, thumbs up, and notification bell. So let's get to it. It's not that hard to do. All right, first things you got to do is pop this hood, everybody. You're going to have two attachment points here and here, and then you're going to have a little, like a plastic flashing cover. Now, to let you guys know, this is going to be a Torx 30 bolt. Then you're going to have this little Phillips head looking prong thing in here. Now, this is not a true Phillips head, guys, so you can try and turn it left to let it loose, but really you just need to get it turned up enough that you can put a small flat blade, an edge of a knife or whatever, and then as you turn it, you'll just pry it up and then set that aside because you need to reuse it. Your Torx 30 bit is one of these. You do not need the security dimple. You can just use a Torx 30, and once you remove these two screws and this, there is one point in the middle here that clips in, and you can then just lift your headlight out. You can start with this trailing edge first because you do have a clip here, so you can undo that one, and then you can just pry up. You can hear it kind of pop loose, and then there is your headlight. So again, ladies and gents, you all can do it. Once you get done there, it's going to be easiest just kind of pull this front corner out. Now remember, when you put it back in, this goes underneath here. And then this is going to be your push-pull tab assembly. You're going to, I always say, push it down, push in, and then pull out. So let's see here. I am a right-hander, so we're going to try and do this one-handed. So you're going to push in on the clip, push down on the tab, and then wiggle it out. Never, 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 never pull on the wires themselves. Always grab here. Once you get that done, you can take your headlight and set it wherever is comfortable to do so. I'm going to set it down on something so we don't scratch it up. I'm going to get some towels out, and then we are going to slap these lights in. Now it worked out. I actually had this box handy, so we're going to do one bulb at a time. I'm not going to mess with this because I'm not going to put an LED in here because this car will have a hyper flash. So if you want to change this out for an LED, you can get an LED 3157 or P27. They're kind of synonymous. But make sure you have either a CAN bus, a diode on there to prevent hyper flash. Otherwise, it's going to be that fast flash. Say that 6 times. Anyway, so we're going to start back here, and this is going to be our high beam. This is going to be your H11. And again, guys, for as much as you're going to pay for a Sylvania bulb, you might as well upgrade to LED. I do get the question all the time saying, hey, what if it's super bright? Well, almost all cars now are going to be LED. So this is well within the specifications for legal DOT specifications. All right, so you pull that dust cap off there, guys. I already have this bad boy disconnected because I've been waiting for these bulbs forever, it seemed like. So this is your H11. If you're going to replace this bulb with a halogen bulb, see how I'm touching this part of the lens? Don't touch anything below this rubber grommet. So if you touch this on accident, more than likely this bulb will burn out probably within a few days, if not almost instantaneous. The oils will eat that up. So we don't want that. Now, so we're going to set this aside, and we're going to get out our Sea-Light H11. And one thing I've liked about Sea-Light, like I said, I'm not endorsed by them. But if you guys get one that has flicker, it is possible. I mean, they mass produce these bad boys. So within the kit, they're going to give you some white gloves. They're going to give you zip ties. Everything you need is they have their own cooling on here. The intensity is really nice, crisp light. They have their own box in here that'll fit in the back of that headlight assembly. And then we have our connector. Pretty straightforward. All this is going to go in there. And now the thing I like about C-Light is one, I've only had one out of probably 200 sets of these lights. I put them in everything. I've only had one that flickered, called them. They sent me out a new one and told me to send the other one back free. So basically, this is just going to go oriented in the hole and lock it in. And then we're going to plug the connector in. All right, so we plugged it in, and then you can just feed all the rest of this around here. This is the cooling system here. You don't have to worry about anything else. Then once you get done with that, put your dust cap on, be done with this section. All right, next we're on to the low beam. This was the culprit that was bad. And so, actually, this might have been the high beam. Yeah, this is probably the high beam. This one is the one that was bad. That's why I had it unplugged already. So this one, there is a little tab underneath here, right back here. You can probably see where I'm wiggling my forefinger. You're going to slide this bad boy off and set it aside. Now, keeping in mind that the orientation of that, there is a little clip right there. And so basically you can either, if the bulb comes out with it, you're golden. Now, this bulb itself was not bad, so if you think you want to save that, don't touch the lens. Use your white gloves that come with the C-Light. But there's only one way to really orient it, and so it just has a one prong. You know, I've seen 100 bulbs in my life, and I've never seen one like this. Maybe it's a Ford thing, but we'll probably save this one because it is still working. But let's get out the new one. All right, so now we got the new one out of the box. You can see it has a little flat ridge on here. Now that flat ridge is going to go underneath this little plate right here. It is easier to put this in first than to try and slide the bulb and this connector over it. So we're going to set this in here. So once you get it in there, guys, there's only one way for that connector to line up with that, and that's by just twisting this base to where this clip again lines up with this bottom tab, and then these little side rails here are going to line up on both sides with that. So let's get that snapped in. All right, so that's that. Now we can take our dust cover, put this back on, and really you can't line bulbs up much more than the way they're supposed to go in. So they'll go in, they'll click in, and then it's done. Here the dust cover snap in. So let's go ahead and install this back the same way we just had it and set it up. All right, so reassembly down there. Don't forget to plug in your connector there. Like I said, you can kind of see that little white clip. You can just kind of see the base of it actually right there. That's how it's going to get clicked in. When you get this bad boy, you're going to shove it in the hole. And then you can just shove that Phillips head down because it's not really a Phillips head. Now we're going to take our Torx and we're going to put these in, and then let's see how good these lights look. All right, so there is your LED light versus your incandescent. And what I really like about it is it kind of actually puts it obviously emits more light out of here, but the fact just makes this look just so much more crisp. Let's check out high beams. All right, so there is your high beam. Excellent light quality versus this one. Yeah, it gets the job done, guys, but this is so much better. Now, if you're on the road and you have to replace this light, you can wiggle your hands in to, I mean, if you have small hands, you can get the job done and you can swap this light out. But more than likely, if you're at one of the auto parts stores, they have loaner tools, so you can probably borrow that tool, especially if you're in their parking lot. They'll probably even walk out and help you because this is such an easy freaking job. These LED swap was less than $50. Again, I'm going to link it down below. Well worth it. And for the people that are concerned about passing, causing people to be blinded, you won't. The LED output is just brighter, more crisp, and it's well within DOT specs, so it'll be just fine. As always, guys, appreciate you guys being here. If you guys remember to smash the subscribe button, but the procedure for the passenger side is going to be the same, or vice versa. So if you have a bulb out on the passenger side, you can just flip it over and do it that way. Guys, I'm going to catch you on the next one.